Most content on our channel so far is focused on remote work visas and investment visas that allow you to move somewhere if you make a certain amount of money or directly invest in certain countries. However, if you've got a university degree, the option that we're going to talk about today could be your cheapest way to South America, and it doesn't even require an employer. Ecuador's Professional Visa allows eligible applicants with a university degree to obtain a visa for a much lower cost than their investment visa or remote work visa. The visa is officially called the Visa de Residencia Temporal for professionals, technicians, and artisans, and it falls under Ecuador's immigration law. It gives you 2 years of temporary residency in the country, it's renewable once, and it's designed for someone with a university degree who wants to live in Ecuador. Qualified degrees include technical degrees, bachelor's degrees, and graduate degrees, and your field doesn't matter at all. A philosophy degree qualifies you just as much as an engineering one, and here's the part that makes the visa really stand out. You don't even need a job offer, an employer, or even work in the field once you're in the country. To qualify, you still need to show a monthly income, but the great thing here is that you only need to show the equivalent of Ecuador's minimum wage, which is right now around $482 a month. This is almost a third of the price of the rentista or pensioner visas, which are around $1,400 a month. If you're a remote worker or a digital nomad with a degree, this is by far the cheapest legal path to Ecuadorian residency. This all sounds great, but the biggest hurdle comes when you have to register with Ecuador's Higher Education Authority. This isn't optional and it's not quick. You'll need your diploma, your transcripts, a couple of newer recommendations, such as a letter classifying your field of study under an international standard, and another confirming your program was done mostly in person. Online degrees will face extra scrutiny here, and if your university isn't already registered on the country's pre-approved list, they'll do a manual review that could drag on for up to 6 months or more. For the visa application itself, you'll need your passport, a photo, criminal background check that's less than 6 months old, and proof of income. You could apply either at an Ecuadorian consulate or abroad, or if you're already in Ecuador on a tourist stay, a regional immigration office inside the country. Everything runs through their online e-visa platform. All the government fees and application fees come out to around $355, but these are of course subject to change. The real expense could be in the paperwork, where apostilles, certified translations, and notary fees can add up to a few $100s. And if you want a lawyer or a visa service to handle all this for you, you could expect to pay anywhere between $600 and $1,500 depending on how complicated your case is. And you shouldn't expect this process to be fast. On paper, the visa review itself takes only a few weeks, but you should realistically plan the whole process from start to finish to take anywhere from 3 to 8 months. Experienced applicants recommend starting your registration for Ecuador's Higher Education Authority before you even move to Ecuador, as this could take a significant amount of time. Once you're in the country, you could live in Ecuador, work legally, freelance, or start a business. You could bring your spouse or kids as dependents. You could come and go as you please, but here's an important rule. You cannot stay outside of Ecuador for more than 90 days a year, or you risk your residency status. Sticking with it, and after 21 months, you're eligible for permanent residency in the country. After 3 years total, you could apply for Ecuadorian citizenship, which requires a Spanish and civics test. One more thing worth knowing, Ecuador just overhauled its immigration law in October of last year, and the changes tightened enforcement significantly, including stricter tracking of how many days you've spent outside of the country and automatic loss of permanent residency if you're gone for 2 continuous years. So if you're planning to stay in the country long term, it's important that you stay on top of the amount of time you've spent in the country, which matters now more than ever. The bottom line is that if you've got a degree and a modest income, this is genuinely one of the most accessible options available in South America to obtain residency. The trade-off is patience, the process is slow, and the paperwork is unforgiving of small mistakes like a name mismatch between your degree and passport. Start early, get your documents in order, and don't rush the process. Ecuador offers a very interesting, affordable, and increasingly digital nomad-friendly environment, but it's crucial that you don't rush the process and you have everything in order before you apply.